In this video, we're going to learn about mammals, what they are, and how they're different from other organisms. So, a mammal, what is it? Start off, one key feature of a mammal is they are endothermic. That means they regulate their own body temperature. So, for example, you keep yourself at a steady 97 degrees almost all the time, and you are happy and not sick. Whereas a fish or a lizard kind of have to be affected by the area around it. So if it's sunny out, they get that sunlight and they're happy. But if it's cold out and snowing, they're sad and cold. So endothermic. Second feature is that they are vertebrates. That means they have spines, they have backbones. Generally, the backbone goes from front to back, so from the skull, let's draw a generic skull here, all the way back to the tail, if they have a tail. And that's not just a part of the physical structure of the creature, it's also part of the nervous system, but we'll talk about that later. Additionally, our mammals have a four-chambered heart, which allows them to pump blood a lot easier to other parts of the body. It's more efficient. They also have these like two loops, and we'll talk about that when we talk about the four-chambered heart more so. And then they are also mostly covered by hair. Most creatures, such as bears and wolves, of course, are very hairy, or our common dog, which comes from the wolf. He's covered in hair. But then you look at something like a hippopotamus, which is not as easy to draw, of course, or a rhinoceros, I guess, depending on how you want to look at this guy. He has very small hairs on him, and it's not a lot of them. So, difference between them, of course, comes from the environment. A wolf or a dog is built for a colder environment. And in that colder environment, they have to stay warm. And their hair helps them do that. There's also a layer of fat underneath the hair, which helps them stay warm. Hippos, on the other hand, are in a hot, sunny environment where they don't need to keep warm, where they mostly spend their time in the water. So the hair is an extension of the nervous system so they can feel things around them. Additionally, most mammals are born alive, which is a unique feature in the animal kingdom. If you're born alive, you got to be ready to fight. It gives us cute things like puppies and kittens and stuff like that. But if you think about it, they're kind of pathetic. They can't survive on their own. They need a lot of protection. So that's where parents come in. The parents of mammals are some of the better parents in the animal kingdom. They will hang out with their child for a very long time. They also feed their child with mammary glands. And those produce milk that the child eats. Additionally, most mammals have special tooth adaptations. Switch to a new page here. So, their specialized teeth help them to eat different types of food. Humans, for example, have the whole bunch of them, whereas a wolf or a giraffe have specialized teeth. First set of teeth is called the incisors, and they're kind of like the front teeth that we have, our buck teeth, if you will. They're used for chopping and kind of like shoveling. If you think about what you use your incisors for, you're biting things off and sending it to the back of your mouth. So that's just the initial chop. Of course, we have the canines, which are pointed. And of course, we know those are used for ripping and tearing of meat. And these are mostly used by carnivores. When you have carnivores, all of their teeth resemble canines, but they still have the features of incisors and, of course, premolars and molars, which are over here. Which are large flat teeth in the back of our mouth. Generally, they kind of got some like abrasion on here, so they're kind of either bumpier. Those allow for grinding and breaking down. These are mostly used by herbivores. Having molars allows you to break through the tough cell wall of plants, and those are really useful for our little herbivore friends. So, with our mammals, take a moment to touch on their four-chambered heart, because that helps with a lot of different things for them. Mammals are mobile creatures, and with a four-chambered heart, that allows them to get oxygen into their body. And with that four-chambered heart, there are two loops. One loop takes oxygen poor, O2 poor blood back to heart and lungs. Where the other loop takes oxygen rich blood to the rest of the body. Now, it's important to have oxygen in our blood because our organs use that oxygen. Our muscles use that oxygen to move. So a mammal that doesn't have a lot of oxygen isn't going to be able to move as much. That's why you're able to hold your breath longer if you're sitting still as opposed to running around the room. And then last topic to talk about for mammals today is reproduction. Mammals produce mostly internally. And they produce milk for their young through the mammary glands, as we mentioned earlier. When a mammal is born, they are pretty much helpless. And the parent hangs around for quite some time to help them get the ropes of being that animal. So overall, mammals have a lot of unique features that we don't have in any other part of the animal kingdom. They're endothermic, they're vertebrates, they have four-chambered hearts, they have hair over their skin, most are born alive, they're fed by their mother's milk through mammary glands, and they have special teeth adaptations. That's mammals in a nutshell.